What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another lab session. We back with another great episode with some great topics, man. So let's dive straight into it, man. Let's see. We'll start with this right here. We all been in interviews, I think, and sometimes I ask, like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? You know what I'm saying? And that's not even the worst of the questions, though. But I've been in other interviews and stuff like that, right? They ask me, like, how much do you want to make in a year? You know what I mean? Or I've been on consultations with some of these courses and coaches and stuff like that. Like, how much do you want to make in a year, man? What's your goal to make in a year? You know what I mean? And those kind of questions, man, they bother me, bro. Cause a lot of times I would think in my mind, I'd have a limit in my mind, and I'd be like, you know what, 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Or you say 80,000, whatever the case may be, 250,000, right? And then they might say something like, "Oh, that's all you want to make, man. That's all you want to do." You know what I mean? So I started thinking, right, for a long time, like, damn, bro, you know, I hate those things because in my mind, I'm programming myself to a limit. You know what I mean? Even I don't feel like I have a dream or aspiration of having billions, right? Like I never had a dream or aspiration like some people might, even millions, bro, right? But I'm not putting no limit on this shit, bro, because I feel like I just like, why would I stop? Like this shit is just in me to keep going and keep growing, bro. So it's like, okay, I hit these couple hundred thousands, right? Cool. Next is an M. Cool. Okay, now we finna stack some more M's up. You know what I'm saying? A couple 100,000 M's. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it, man. And I hate when people try to limit themselves or limit me, cause like, bro, there's no limit. This is this life. I talk about the creation phases a lot, right? Bro, creation has no limit. Like there's literally anything and everything you create in those phases, right? So I really try to not limit myself to nothing, even in my mind, bro. I don't even try to put no limit on myself, right? And I'm watching what I say a lot more now too. Even like working out, right? I work out with my brother. He said we finna do this today, right? I don't know if I can do that. I'm not even saying that no more, bro. It's like we gonna find out. We gonna find out. I ain't gonna limit myself because I've been doing things that I didn't even think I could do. I've been doing things that I didn't even think were possible. I've been seeing things that I didn't think I could do, so on and so forth. So I want you guys to do the same thing, like, bro. Don't limit yourself, bro. Don't let people limit you, and don't limit yourself, because there is no limit to this shit. In this thing called life, bro, there is no limit, and you gotta remember that. And you gotta remember that, man. There ain't no limit. You could do anything you set your mind to. You could be anything you want to be. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you to decide what you want to be, though. It's up to you to decide how far you want to go. You might get to a certain point. You're like, you know what? I'm happy, man. I'm cool with this. I'm gonna ride this out. You know what I mean? You might get to a point that you thought you wanted to be at and get there and like, you know what? I still want more. Cause you know that's not greedy, man. It's okay to be content and still want more. That's the thing, bro. If you hit a certain level, it's like, cool, I'm happy where I'm at, man, but I still want to get better. Like me right now, like in my physique and my the shape I'm in right now, it's like I'm cool, man. I'm happy with where I'm at, bro. You know, but I ain't at the top yet. I ain't elite level yet, and I'm still striving for more. But I'm happy where I'm at, though. You know what I mean? But I still want more. So keep that in mind, y'all. We can jump right into the next thing, man. This kind of ties into the next one, man. You're not crazy. You're just around the wrong people, right? A lot of times, bro, you might have an idea. You might have some you want to do. You might have something you got going on, right? And you're telling it to somebody, and they put you in the box, or they try to make you feel like you can't do certain things, right? And you might feel like you're crazy, bro. You do that long enough, you get around those people long enough, bro, you might feel like you're crazy, bro. But I'm telling you this right now, you are not crazy. You're just around the wrong people. These people, just because they can't see what you see, just because they can't do what you can do, you know what I'm saying, don't make you crazy, bro. And keep that in mind, bro. Like, look at the people you got around you, bro. When you say certain things, when you tell them, okay, I'm working on this, or I'm reading this book, oh, I'm hitting the gym now, I'm eating right now, you know what I'm saying? When you're doing the right things to level up in life, and the people around you are like looking at you like you weird, or like they're putting you down, or they're saying little slick comments and slick jokes and stuff like that, bro. Open your eyes and be aware to that shit, bro. Like, it's not a secret why they're doing that, bro. You know what I mean? And you need to get around from people like that, bro, because it's gonna knock you off your pivot, bro. If I didn't stay with people like that for so long coming up, bro, I'd probably be a lot further than I am right now, you know what I mean? So if you guys could hear this and see that and realize like, damn, my friends around me do be saying like little slick comments or they making little slick jokes, you know what I mean? Or every time I present them with an idea, they laugh at it. You know what I mean? Or they be like, nah, it's not gonna work. Or they shit on my ideas. You know what I mean? Get from around people. Cause okay, at least I'm coming up with an idea. At least I'm trying to think of something. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So I had that happen before, man. Even still to this day, bro. Like certain environments I'm in, I'll say something. I'll bring them idea, or I'll say what I'm working on, and folks just can't see what you see, man, and that's okay. I always say they got eyes, but they can't see. They got ears, but they can't hear, bro. Remember that, man, and it's cool, bro. It's not personal. A lot of things in this life and in this game ain't personal, bro. You gotta take it on the chin and carry on, man. And eventually it'll come around, bro. People always come back around, man. I promise you, bro. People always come back around, bro. You don't want to end things with nobody on bad terms, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just gotta fall back. Sometimes you just gotta say, you know what, bro? I love you. I rock with you, but we gotta part ways, you know, and that's fine, bro. Cause who knows in the future what things will circle back around, you know what I mean? And bro, folks always come back and they're gonna see. Maybe they got the mind right this time. Maybe they see what you were saying now. You know what I mean? Now it might cost them. It might cost them because they couldn't see it at the time. You know, some things are time sensitive. But some folks will come back around, man. But just know you're not crazy, bro. You just around the wrong people. And it's important to get around the right people, man. Find people that are like-minded, that have vision. Find people that got vision, man, that can see the things you see. You know what I'm saying? That they got the right lenses on. They got the right glasses on. They can see the world clearly. They can see the world how you see the world. You know what I'm saying? They see that glass half full versus half empty. You know what I'm saying? You want to get around folks like that. That got the right eyes on, bro. This one right here is you can do everything right and still be wrong. What do I mean by that? I've been saying this a lot to myself because I've just been reflecting a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? Every time I get the chance, man, I'm learning something new. I'm reading this book. I'm watching this show. I'm on a coach with my a coach. I'm on a call with my coach, my mentor, and he tell me some game. He give me some information and stuff like that, right? And in my mind, I feel like, bro, my eyes have been getting wider and wider and wider, right? And every time I get some new information, I look back and I'm like, damn, bro, okay, I did this wrong, right? And that's why I got this outcome. But with the knowledge I have now, it's like, okay, I see why I went wrong there. Now, instead of doing A, I'm going to do B instead of, you know what I'm saying, switch it up. So I just been doing that a lot lately. And I've realized, like, bro, there's a lot of times people will do everything right, man. They do the right things, man. They listen to all the rules. They follow everything. They stay in one line, you know what I'm saying? They never jump out of line. They put themselves in this box. They never get out of that box. And on the outside looking in, yeah, it looks like you're doing everything right, but you never reach your goals, you know what I'm saying? Or you're doing everything right, man. You get with a woman, right? Uh you deal with the little nonsense, man. Y'all got the arguing, the bickering, uh the back and forth little shenanigans, right? And instead of you're not happy there though, right? So instead of leaving, bro, you stay there though, cause that's the right thing to do, right? You know what I'm saying? Uh Happy wife, happy life, you know, that's the right thing to do. But you end up being wrong because now you're unhappy for 5, 10 years and you wasted all this time when you could have been leveling up or doing something greater. You know what I mean? So that could go for you at a job too, man. You stay at a job, man. People always told me growing up, man, you supposed to stay at a job for 20 years and you get a good retirement and you do this and you do that. And I'm like, bro, that is just not me, bro. I've never had the mind capacity to stay at a spot for that long, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now I always tell myself, if everything in life don't work out, I got something I can fall back on. You know what I mean? That's in the back of my mind. But in the front of my mind, bro, in the front of my mind, that is not there at all. It never even crosses my mind at all. You know what I mean? And like I said, you can do everything right. You can be at a job all this time, and then one day they just say, you know what? We don't need you no more, man. We got somebody else filling this position, man. You can either leave or you go to this other spot there, you know what I mean? And you thought you was going to climb this ladder. So just think about that, man, when you're doing certain things, man. Don't put yourself in the box. Don't stay in that line, man. You know, sometimes you got to jump out the line. Sometimes you got to skip somebody and get in front of the line, you know what I'm saying, to move ahead. I think with Money Man, I seen Money Man say that one time. Like, he was like, man, you never going to win in life if you follow all the rules, you know. People cheating every day. People breaking the rules every day. And sometimes not even breaking the rules. Sometimes you gotta see the in-between. You got to read in between the lines. to get the full picture. See, that's how folks be winning, man. They read in between the lines versus reading the black and white print. You know what I mean? So then they're able to go ahead and like bend the rules how they want to bend them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be hating on Trump and things like that, man. I always seen Trump, and I'm like, damn, okay. People be mad at him for the things he's saying do, right? But it's like, okay, how do I get to where he's at? How do I have things that he has? How do I bend the rules the way he bends the rules? You know what I mean? That's how my mind works. You know, I'll look at it like that because I'm not trying to be the person that does everything right, bro. You know what I mean? If you want to be like everybody else, you want to be normal, you want to be average, you want to have a regular life, you know what I mean? Then that's cool. Do all the right things. But if you're trying to boss up, you're trying to do some different shit, man, you're trying to hit new levels, you're trying to do some incredible shit, man, sometimes you got to jump out the box. You got to switch lanes, you know what I mean? And level up. I don't know if y'all can see it too well, man, but it's a beautiful day out here, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I love going outside sometimes, and I go outside to breathe the air, bro. And I just look up at the sky, man. Especially at nighttime. So I do the same thing at nighttime, man. The clear sky, bro. I just love looking up at the sky. I look up at the stars. I've always done that. I just come outside, look up, and just do something to your mood, bro. I really believe in color psychology, man. I believe colors have an effect on our minds, and they could affect your mood. I remember I was with somebody for a long time, bro, and they always said they hated color, like they hated bright colors and stuff like that. They would always have like dark furniture, dark clothes, man, things of that nature. And I despise that shit, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, because colors just make you happy, bro. They boost your mood up, bro. When you go outside, look at the blue sky, it do something to you, bro. When you look at these green trees, bro, it do something to you. When you go to the garden and you see all these colorful flowers, bro, it do something to you, bro. Put some color in your life. I feel like y'all be living a very bland black and white life, man. Sometimes you gotta add some color, bro. Go get a poster or something like that. You know what I mean? Put some things in your room. Put some things around your house with some color, some art. You know what I mean? Like even in my room, I have my affirmation board. At first, I had it just black and white, right? I'm like, damn, it's missing something. It's missing something. So I went ahead and put some color on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, man. So just try to add some color in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? It really has a big effect on you. There's a few books you can read out there about color psychology, right? But let's look at some of the facts about color psychology. So color psychology pretty much is the idea that different colors subtly influence how people feel, think, and behave, right? Companies will do this, right? Gyms, sports teams, it says even prisons use color strategically because it can shift mood and perception. Here are some interesting facts about it, right? Red increases energy and urgency. Red is linked to excitement, passion, and intensity. It can raise heart rate and stimulate adrenaline, which is why it's used in sales signs and fast food branding. It also grabs attention fast, which is why stop signs and warning labels are red, right? Blue promotes trust and calmness. Blue tends to make people feel safe, stable, and relaxed. A lot of banks, tech companies, and law enforcement branding use blue because it signals reliability and authority. It can even lower heart rates slightly. Yellow is tied to optimism and attention. Yellow is the most visible color to the human eye. It's associated with happiness, warmth, and energy, but too much yellow can actually make people feel anxious or overwhelmed. Green represents balance and nature. Green is strongly connected to growth, health, and stability because it reminds people of nature. It tends to have a calming effect. That's why hospitals and wellness brands often use it. Black signals power and sophistication. Black is associated with authority, luxury, and seriousness. High-end brands use it because it communicates prestige and control. Orange stimulates action. Orange combines the energy of red and friendliness of yellow. It's often used for call to action buttons, fitness brands, and sports marketing because it feels energetic and motivating. Purple is associated with royalty and creativity. Historically, purple dye was rare and expensive. It became linked with wealth, power, and spirituality. Today is often used for luxury, creativity, or mystery. What it says, color can influence physical performance. Some research suggests athletes wearing red uniforms may appear more dominant or intimidating to an opponent. Color affects appetite. Red and yellow together can stimulate hunger, which is why a lot of fast food chains use that combo. Cultural meaning matters. Color meanings change depending on cultural For example, in the U.S., white symbolizes purity. In some Asian cultures, white is associated with mourning. So there's just some quick things when it comes to color, right? If you didn't know that. So it does have a big deal, big effect. And if you think these big companies are doing these things for no reason, there's a reason behind it. Even like the police one, that was something new to me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know blue made people feel that way. So now it makes sense why some of these banks and stuff like that have that, why law enforcement has the blue colors, you know what I mean? So I think that's really interesting, man. It really is that deep, bro. Shit really do be that deep in life, you know what I mean? It's just sometimes, that's why I say, man, you gotta be aware, bro. You gotta increase your awareness, man. You gotta go get some knowledge. You gotta go get some wisdom, you know, to really understand how deep things could get. Cause a lot of times some folks tell you, man, it's not that deep, bro. Some folks will tell you it's not that deep, man. It is that deep, bro. Everything is that deep, bro. What people say, how people say things, uh, the timing of certain things are that deep, bro. You know what I mean? The things you read, the things you listen to on a day to day, it influences you so much, and you just aren't aware yet. That's the thing. You gotta go get some awareness, man. You gotta go see and experience things to realize some how deep shit really get. While on that topic, man, I seen the movie Scream 7 recently, right? And in part of that movie, there was a scene, right, where this girl was wearing, she had like a dress on. It was on stage performing or something like that, right? They was on stage performing or something like that, right? And I just thought it was interesting, man. This thought came to my mind, and I'm like, man, this girl got on heels, bro. And I'm like, man, it's such a privilege to be able to wear heels. And it's not just about women are wearing heels though, right? But it's like the fact of that, okay, right, you put on heels, in your mind, you're not thinking about running. Because you're not running in heels, bro. And if you are, you're not going nowhere. Like, you're not dusting nobody who got shoes on, you feel me? So what a privilege is it, man, to have such a carefree mind, you know what I'm saying? You feel so safe that you could wear heels when you go out, you know? Or slide, and say slides, or sandals. Like, how this is why I say by being aware though, man, because you don't look at it from that other perspective. Like, how much of a blessing is it, man, that you could go outside and not have to worry about the danger that's out there, you know what I mean? You don't gotta think what could go wrong. You could just enjoy the moment. You could enjoy life. You know how beautiful that is, bro? You know how beautiful it is to be able to go out and do that, bro? I don't even know why I've always been, I'm not gonna say paranoid, but I have always been like a paranoid kind of person, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I can't imagine, bro, what it's really like to just be so carefree, to really enjoy certain things, like not have to look around, not have to think like, damn, what could happen here? What could potentially be a negative outcome in this situation? Not that I'm thinking of the negative all the time, but I'm ready for it, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm preparing myself for what could happen, right? So I was seeing that, man. I thought that was a really interesting thing, bro. That's like, bro, like, it's a privilege to wear heels, a privilege to go to the spot and be comfortable. It's a privilege to go somewhere and not have to look over your shoulder. It's a privilege to not, I'm not even saying look over your shoulder, like you shouldn't have to look over your shoulder like you got some enemies looking for you, you know what I mean? But even then, like, still to be just on beat, you know what I mean? Just being on beat or ready for something to come. Like, that's a real privilege, man. If you don't think so, man, you ain't seen no real shit. You ain't experienced or been in no real shit. You ain't really been in that field, man. If you think otherwise, you ain't been in that field, bro. So go get in that field if you think otherwise, man, and see some real shit and realize how much danger is really out there in this world, how bad things can really get, you know what I'm saying? So it shit get real, man. Maybe it's because my mind is different though too, because of the field that I work in, right? Because in my field, I work with literal criminals, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm dealing with the worst of the worst people. I'm dealing with real deal people who committed horrible crimes, you know what I'm saying? Heinous acts, right? So I have a different perspective, like, 'cause that's all I'm around, you know what I'm saying? I'm really around a lot of criminals who did messed up things, you know? So I also see the world for what it is, you know what I mean? Because some of these things, there's a lot of people doing some of these things that just ain't been caught yet neither, you know what I'm saying? Your neighbor could be doing some of these things. Your brother, your cousin could be doing some of these crazy things, you know what I mean? And he just ain't been caught yet, and you wouldn't even know it because behind closed doors, right? So that's why I had that mindset though too. But again, that's why I say, man, if you don't understand how much danger is really in the world, bro, go get in that field, man. Go experience something. Go see some things, man. What else can we talk about, man? It's one thing to know information, it's another thing to use it, right? I think that's a big deal. I've been victim to this before too, right? I might get some information, right? Might read a book, might hear some, might watch a video, and I got this new information. But it's useless if I don't do nothing with the information I was given, right? I don't know why we're like this though. Why is it that I could get some valuable information, some that I could use in my day-to-day life, and I don't utilize it, you know? So it's one thing to hear stuff, man, and that's what separates people though, man. It's like those who just intake information and don't do nothing with it, and the ones that actually execute and get real results. Those are the ones that get real results when you get this information, actually use it and do it. Like some of the things I'm doing now, man, my coach had put me on game with. Some of the books I've read have enlightened me on certain things, you know, and so I got to catch. So I'm like, damn, okay, I read this in this book. I heard this before. They told me to do this. They told me that. It's like, okay, now I got to perform. Now it's time to perform. I got to do the shit now too, you know what I mean? So think about that, man. Make sure you getting that awareness, man. Looking at yourself from that third perspective, so you can be like, damn, I'm really not doing things I said I was gonna do. I'm really not living how I'm supposed to be living. I'm really not getting to it how I'm really trying to get to it. You know what I mean? So take this information, take this game, take this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Do something with it, man. Stop slacking. Stop being a know-it-all, bro. That don't have nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people tell you useless information, or they'll spew something. They might hear something here, someone might tell them this, and might tell them that, and they spew that shit out like they really done did the shit, or like they really got some results, man. No, bro, go out there, get you some real results. You know what I'm saying? Use the knowledge that you was given. You know what I'm saying? That's really a blessing, man. Some people would die for some of this information. Some people would die for some knowledge. Some people would die for just the right thing to take them to that new level, the right guidance to get them to where they trying to go. You know what I mean? And you got it, and you're just not using it, bro. Or you have a friend that has it, and they trying to tell you certain things, and you're not listening. You know what I mean? You got a brother that's on the right path. He's throwing you game. You got a golden ticket right next to you, bro. You know what I mean? And you're not doing it. I'll talk about this, right? I had one of my guests on an interview, right? And we're talking about how, like, he's the best in his bloodline. He's in shape, right? And a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that are like that, man. Their family, they're the most in shape, right? And you would think that these people would reach out and be like, hey, man, I'm slacking with this, I'm slacking with this. What do I got to do for this, right? And you tell them, and they don't do it. Or they don't reach out at all, man. They don't hit you up for nothing, man. They don't get with you for no information, man. And it's like, bro, you got a golden ticket sitting right next to you, bro. If you got a golden ticket next to you, man, you need to get your head on, bro. You need to get your head on and reach out to that person, man. Put your pride to the side and ask them for some help, man. Ask them like, hey, man, how did you do this? How you do this? How you do that? Why are you like this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Get your mind going, bro. You feel what I'm saying? It's getting a little hot out here, y'all. Might gotta pot the top. Might gotta pot the top. I was talking about this with my brother the other day, man. Shit's so crazy, bro. Cause you know, I'm half Puerto Rican, right? I'm half Puerto Rican, but I don't know Spanish. So I'm working on learning, right? So we working on work in progress. But I always told myself this, man. Like, bro, I feel like God knew what he was doing when he made me, bro. Cause, bro, if I could speak Spanish, like I'm right here, right? If I could speak Spanish, I'd be like right here, bro. And then if I could sing, if I could sing on top of speak Spanish, bro, I'll be right here now. And then you throw on some dancing, I'm damn near Chris Brown level, bro. But I think God knew what he was doing. He knew the kind of person I was deep down inside, and he couldn't bless me with all these great attributes, you know what I'm saying? He said, you know, you got to get out the mud. You got to start from the bottom, because if I bless you with all this, bro, you gonna be causing havoc, you know what I mean? So I had to accept that, you know what I mean? I was blessed with a lot of other great attributes, you know what I'm saying, if I do say so myself. So we working on some of these other ones, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn my little 1-2 step My little bachata step, you know what I'm saying? Uh, what else? My Spanish is coming along. I feel like I'm understanding better now. Like I hear people talking, and I can pick up words, and I be like, oh, they saying this, or they talking about this, talking about that. But I can't form a sentence. I can't have a conversation. I can't I can't butt in and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I ain't there yet, but we gonna get there. And then dance too, bro. Like it's different kinds of dancing. So that's a beautiful thing. You could. If you can't do this kind, maybe you can do this kind. If you can't do this, maybe you can do this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking like some folks, bro. They just do everything. They could just break that thing down. You know what I'm saying? They could just go to any function and whatever dance they got going on, they could hit that bit. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, bro. If I could have had those three other traits, you know what I'm saying, on my little checklist, I'd be like, bro, my life would be so different. Even this, people who speak Spanish, right? Bro, you go travel anywhere in this world, right? Any of these countries that speak Spanish, bro, like you can literally get around and meet people and rock with people anywhere you go. Like how crazy is that, bro? Like you literally have access to a whole different world. Cause there's some people in this world who don't know English. So imagine somebody who don't know English. Now you're able to communicate with them. So it opens up a whole new opportunity, a whole new world to this person's friends, the people this person might know, so on and so forth. Some people don't know what is it? Some people I said don't know, they only know Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Some people only know English. You know what I'm saying? So you go on other spots where people know English. Now you got the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So I just think it's interesting that folks could do that. You know what I mean? I think it's a blessing, man, to be able to speak two languages anywhere you go. Spanish specifically because that's another large language. You know what I'm saying? But if you're able to speak two languages, man, you one of the ones, bro. You one of the ones. Yeah, I know it's that season right now too, man. My allergies been acting up. I took my little allergy medicine, right? But y'all gotta make sure y'all doing the same thing, bro. Cause that season, bro, that sneezing, the itchy eyes, the little coughing and stuff like that, is coming up, man. That pollen is about to be coming out. I don't even want to touch this one, man. You know, I'll break this one down to y'all, right? I've been thinking about this a lot. People ask me about the podcast, ask about the content and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna dive too deep into it, but I'm gonna explain to y'all what the lab is, right? Because a lot of people seem not know what that is, not understand that, right? So the lab, bro, it's just it's an idea, right? It's a concept, I guess you could say, right? The lab is a term people use, right? When you go to the lab, you finna experiment, you finna put in some work. You know what I'm saying? You about to do some research. So that's what it is when people like I'm in that lab. You know what I mean? They're working, they're experimenting, they're trying something new. And sometimes when you're in that lab, man, something great comes out of it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes nothing comes out of it. But at the end of the day, you win because you just tried something, and maybe you put this with this, and it created nothing. But now you have the knowledge that okay, this don't work, but now I need to mix this with this. Oh, this shit just, you know what I'm saying? This shit just worked, right? Like I said, shit get deep, so we're gonna break it down. I love to break down these words and break down definitions and stuff like that. So we're gonna break it down. Laboratory definition, right? A laboratory is a place where experiments, testing, and research are done. Scientists use labs to analyze substances, run experiments, and discover new knowledge. It's basically a controlled environment designed for learning, testing, and creating results, right? That's what I mean when you in the lab. When you in the lab, man, you testing something out. You're gaining knowledge. You're getting experience, bro. And a lot of y'all ain't in that lab, bro. A lot of y'all don't be in the lab. A lot of y'all don't go to the lab. A lot of y'all scared of the lab. You know what I'm saying? You scared you're not gonna get the result you want to get. But like I said, this is what y'all don't understand. When you in the lab, bro, no matter what you do, you win because you're gaining knowledge, right? So if I have red and I have blue and I mix it and I don't get what I want, now I know, okay, I'm not mixing red and blue. Now I'm gonna mix red and green. Oh, cool, perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. You know what I mean? So that's what it means to be in that lab, y'all. So when somebody say, man, get up in that lab, or I'm in that lab, stay in that lab, that's what that is, y'all. And like I said, the word lab originates from a Latin word. That means work. It means work. So go get in that motherfucking lab, y'all. And once you in that motherfucking lab, stay in that motherfucking lab. You hear me? But that's the goal, man. That's part of the goal. That's part of the purpose, man. Is get y'all in that lab, man, so y'all can keep working. Y'all keep trying new things. Y'all keep experimenting. Y'all go out and experience some things. Gain some knowledge that'll take you to that next level. That's what it's about, man. That's what being in that lab is. You know what I mean? Stop being so scared to experiment, man. Put on your little hazmat suit. Put on your PPE. Put on the right equipment so that you don't get hurt in the process. You know what I'm saying? No matter what endeavor or path you going down, put on the right shit. So when you experimenting, you know what I'm saying, even if it goes wrong, you're still okay. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, y'all, when y'all in the lab, right? We could jump onto this next thing, right? Is a lot of folks been keeping the T. A lot of folks been keeping the T versus keeping the P, right? And I've been a victim of that too back in the day, you know what I mean? But past few years, man, I've been just in that lab, learning, experimenting, trying new things, and it's like it's really beautiful, bro. When you have the right information, bro. Like you could do so much, bro, when you have the right information, right knowledge, right? So I think I ain't gonna say it's an epidemic, but a lot of folks out here been keeping the T, and you know what is T, right? What does T stand for, man? T is tender, bro. A lot of folks been real tender out here. Let this car pass by, right? A lot of folks been keeping the T versus keeping the P, man. You folks is too tender out here, right? Cause I'm tender too, man. Don't get me wrong, bro. I be tender when it comes to my little shit, when it comes to certain things, right? And that's okay. But there's levels to the tenderness, right? You can never be too tender. You can never be too tender where you can't put your foot down. You can never be too tender where you can't say no. You can never be too tender when you put yourself in a bad position. You know what I mean? When you accept certain things, when you accept disrespect and things like that, man. That's keeping the T, man. You can't do that, bro. You can't keep it T, man. You gotta keep it P, bro. Keep it played at all times. At all times, you gotta keep it P, right? P, you play it cool, man. That's rule number one, man. Stay cool. Be cool through all. You know what I mean? Something might come up. Play it cool, man. Take it on the chin. It is what it is. I'll tell y'all, I ain't gonna tell you what happened, right? But the other day I ran into a bad situation. Man. It cost me some money, right? But rule number one was play it cool. You know what I'm saying? The whole situation could have been worse. Or I could have ruined my whole day because it's one little minor thing, right? Money come and go. That shit gonna come right back. I ain't even stunting shit, right? But that same situation, I know the old me, bro, I would have been T about it. You know what I'm saying? I would have been tender about it. I would have got on my feelings. It would have ruined my whole day. Would have did this, would have that. You know what I'm saying? It happened. I was a little upset. What I did, I took a nap. I laid my ass down. So let me get my mind right real quick. Laid down, woke up. I forgot about it. I said, you know what? It's cool. I ain't even tripping. Back to work. Back to the lab. You know what I'm saying? Back to it. You feel me? So I think a lot of y'all need to work on leaning more towards the P side versus the T side. You know what I mean? It's a good balance. You know what I'm saying? It's a time to be tender. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing to be blind. Be blind, bro. Don't be blind. And don't be all the way on the tender side. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep that shit P, man. You gotta play it cool, bro. You know? You gotta put your foot down from time to time. You gotta stand for something, or you gonna fall for anything. A lot of y'all don't be keeping the P, man. Some of y'all be saying y'all keep P, but you ain't stand on that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't keep P. Okay, bet, stand on that. You know what I mean? Y'all gotta learn to stand on it. Keep P and stand on it. That's the difference. It's the difference between just saying you keeping the P and then really stand on the shit. You know what I'm saying? What I said about having knowledge and not using it. Same exact concept, bro. You can have all this knowledge. You can have all these answers, right? But if you're not really doing it, if you're not really putting it to the test, you're not really utilizing the information you got, it don't mean shit. I know I'm flying through these, y'all. I ain't even gonna keep this one long, but that's that. One thing I've been looking at again is a lot of history, reading a lot of history books, looking up these old conquerors and stuff like that. Those of you already know I like Alexander the Great for his story and the things he did, right? And it was one thing about some article I was reading, right? And it came to my mind. I'm like, bro, there's so much we can learn from history because we're reading this story about this person who lived 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, 30 years, right? but we're getting it in a matter of 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? 300 pages, 2 hours of audiobook, right? In those 2 hours, though, we're getting 50 years of information. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to look back at history, because now I can see everything this person did in his entire life in a matter of minutes or hours, right? And I'm saying, okay, he did this that got him here. He did this that got him there, right? For example, Alexander the Great, right, did all these great things. At the time when his mother told him that his father was a god, that his father was Zeus, he didn't know the influence or effect that would have on him, right? But now, seeing his whole life, and I seen the beginning and end, I realized how influential that was on him, right? Same thing with his downfall, with his problem with drinking, his drinking problem he had, bro. I seen that led him to a path of paranoia. You know what I'm saying? Made him kill his best friend. I think that was Alexander. It was Alexander or Julius Caesar, one of them, right? But he ended up killing his best friend because he was paranoid, right? So drinking led him down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? Able to see those mistakes he made on his journey. You know what I mean? So it's important to look back at history and look at these leaders or these great people that did all these great things and be like, damn, bro. Like, it's so crazy to see that if he didn't do this when he was when he was coming up, he would not have done this. If he didn't do this, he wouldn't have been here. Or if he didn't do this, he would have been 10 times further ahead. If he didn't make this mistake, he wouldn't have had this outcome. You know what I mean? So it's important to learn from history, man. Because history, they say history repeats itself. It does if you let it, you know what I'm saying? But when we look at history and we pick these things apart and we really break it down, like, damn, okay, these folks did this, this, and this. Okay, we're not about to make those same mistakes. You know what I mean? All in all, man, I feel like we covered a lot of great topics, man. I ain't really dive too deep into many of them. But if y'all like any of these topics, man, let me know down below, man. Let me know how y'all feel about some of them, bro. Let me know if y'all relate. Let me know if you've been slacking, man. Let me know if you ain't been in that lab, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta step it up, bro. You know, first thing it takes to fix a problem is acknowledging that there is a problem, bro. If you have a drinking issue, let's just say that, right? But you don't acknowledge you have a drinking issue, you don't think it's regular. You don't think you fine, you know what I'm saying? So you can't fix a problem if you don't know that there's a problem, right? So first thing is acknowledging there's a problem. So if you know you've been slacking, you know you ain't been in that lab, you know you ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing, you ain't been experimenting, it's okay, bro. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's fine. But you got to acknowledge it and move on. Don't keep making the same mistakes. Cause what happens with that, man? Only a fool will make the same mistake twice, bro. And we ain't no motherfucking fools, bro. Know that. Believe that, right? But like I said, great episode, man. I love it, man. I love it. I love what we've been doing. I love the feedback I've been getting, man. I love the reach that the people that been reaching out to me. You know what I'm saying? I love it all, man. It's great, bro. Man, make sure y'all on y'all mission. Make sure y'all doing what y'all supposed to be doing, bro. And with all that being said, stay in that lab, and I'll catch y'all next episode.